Fast forward 7 years later, and the Earth situation has changed. Goku's new son, Goten, is introduced. Gohan has been turned into a teenager, and Vegeta has done what he always does. During this stretch, we see an infamous moment where Goku is seemingly overwhelmed by 10 tons of weight on each limb. Keep in mind that this is happening under 10 times gravity, so the pressure is immense, closer to 400 tons. Still, once he transforms into a Super Saiyan, he lifts it with ease, reaffirming how absurdly strong he's become. While it's true that the manga and anime handle these feats differently, anime Goku is often given scenes that suggest a greater level of raw physical strength. As the 25th World Tournament is announced, Goku is permitted to return to Earth temporarily. Despite restrictions on using Super Saiyan, Vegeta believes he could win the tournament outright, even though he'll be facing the likes of Kami-fused Piccolo along with Android 18 and others. While this might sound like classic Saiyan pride, it's not entirely unfounded. Goku, on the other hand, seems genuinely impressed by the potential of Goten and Trunks, two children who may have already rivaled or surpassed the base level Gohan from the Cell games. Now, even though that sounds outlandish, it's not without any basis. Goten and Trunks are often shown wielding power that matches Gohan's younger self. Some fans argue that they haven't mastered the advanced stages of Super Saiyan like Grade 4, but their casual use of the form suggests otherwise. Gohan's strength during the Cell arc, particularly his Super Saiyan 2 transformation, was massively amplified by emotion. The guides even say as much. His Super Saiyan 2 then was fueled by fury, something that can't easily be accessed anymore. By the time he fights Dabra, Gohan's powers have dulled, and while he shows flashes of potential, he struggles to reach his past peak. Meanwhile, Goku crosses paths with the Supreme Kai, a divine being whose energy Goku can't even initially detect due to the godly nature of his ki. Despite that, Goku doesn't seem intimidated and even suggests he might not win the tournament outright, though not out of fear of the Kai. Supreme Kai himself notes that he isn't confident he could beat Goku, an important comment considering Kai is set in some material to be comparable to Goku from the Cell era. However, this interaction mainly showcases that neither party fully understands the other's limits yet. But it's crazy to think that Goku in his base form would probably be able to beat the Supreme Kai, who should be Super Saiyan Cell Games level. But when you consider how base Goku scaled to Super Perfect Cell, it's not really that outlandish. The situation escalates when Dabra appears and turns Piccolo and Krillin to stone. Supreme Kai panics, claiming that Dabra needs to be taken down immediately. What's truly insane here is Goku's calm reaction, as he actually says Dabra shouldn't be a problem. This becomes even more noteworthy when Goku adds that Dabra is around Cell's level. Vegeta doesn't contradict this either. If anything, he agrees, implying that both Saiyans believe that Cell tier threats are now manageable even without needing their full strength. Given how casually they handle these threats, it's entirely possible that they could have handled Dabra in base form or just regular Super Saiyan. This trend continues with Pui Pui, yet another one of Babidi's henchmen. Supreme Kai initially believes that the fighters need to work together to stand a chance, yet Vegeta in base absolutely incinerates Pui Pui without any effort. This moment leaves Supreme Kai stunned. He clearly has no clue how strong Goku and Vegeta had become, and when we remember what Goku did during the Otherworld arc, it becomes even more apparent that both Saiyans have reached ridiculous levels of power, even outside of Super Saiyan 2. While some have dismissed these feats by suggesting Supreme Kai is just clueless, his reactions are consistent with how much stronger the Z fighters have grown. Dabra, meanwhile, does have some credibility. He's shown going toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, although some sources argue he's a little weaker. However, his magic compensates for that gap. Plus, it's mentioned in the anime that Gohan's power increases after he's healed by Kibito, suggesting that Gohan who fights Dabra is stronger than the one who performed in front of Kibito. Both Goku and Vegeta continue to treat Dabra as a joke. Vegeta even says that the only thing to worry about is avoiding his spit attack, showing again that neither of them considers Dabra a serious threat in terms of raw power. Babidi's key measurement system, Kiri, is introduced here. Goku's energy is measured at 3000 while Yakon sits at 800. Supposedly, it takes 2 to 300 Kiri to destroy a planet, so even while heavily suppressed, Goku clocks in at more than 10 times planetary destruction level, but we know that when Cell is at a solar system level and Goku is scaling above that. So this measurement system is likely simplistic and inconsistent with actual combat strength. At one point, Vegeta remarks that he believes he surpassed Gohan, though he admits uncertainty about how strong Gohan could get if enraged. That's consistent with Goku's own belief, that Gohan still has the highest potential among them if pushed emotionally. This also shows you the different levels between Gohan and Cell. If Dabra is supposed to be on Cell's level or above it, and Vegeta is confident that he could beat him, this means that Vegeta has surpassed Super Perfect Cell in his Super Saiyan 2 form, and possibly Gohan, but not Enraged Gohan, since Enraged Gohan is much stronger than Cell, whereas Super Saiyan 2 Gohan would just be stronger than Cell. Eventually, the legendary showdown between Goku and Majin Vegeta kicks off. When Babidi possesses Vegeta, it's stated that the transformation draws out his full latent power. Some even joke that Majin Vegeta is essentially Super Saiyan 3 without the hair because that's the same phrasing used to describe Super Saiyan 3, bringing out your maximum potential. Regardless, Goku and Vegeta are portrayed as equals in their clash, and there's an old argument that Goku's dead body gives him extra stamina or durability. But that's easily countered by how Babidi's magic alters Vegeta's psychology in weird ways as well. For example, Spopovich gets his neck broken and shrugs it off. Majins clearly don't function like normal beings. In the Dragon Ball universe, there are unique physical distinctions that blur the lines of typical damage endurance. For instance, individuals resurrected in the afterlife or transformed by dark sorcery like Majinized fighters often lose conventional pain responses. King Kai once explained that long-term residents of the afterlife eventually stop registering pain, and we see characters like Spopovich remain unfazed by brutal damage. This leads to the implication that whether you're a dead fighter or a Majin creation, the ability to feel pain becomes irrelevant, and thus not a deciding factor in battle efficiency. When comparing raw strength, Vegeta makes a compelling statement during the Buu Saga. He acknowledges that Goku has not only surpassed Gohan in the present, but even the Gohan who annihilated Cell, a version of Gohan overwhelming with Super Saiyan 2 rage. This places Goku and Vegeta's power into well cosmic tier levels, possibly beyond solar system destruction. Even when you ignore the more speculative scaling from the anime-exclusive Pikkon arc, Goku's resistance to Babidi's mind control implies he's so strong-willed or perhaps pure of heart that the manipulation doesn't work at all. Vegeta, though susceptible due to inner turmoil, only falls under the spell voluntarily, showing just how advanced his power must be to resist it initially. During their Majin showdown, Goku and Vegeta engage in a blitz speed duel that's so intense, Goten and Trunks, despite flying towards them, simply can't catch up. And it's not because Goku and Vegeta are fleeing, but because their battle occurs at a scale that younger generations can't even perceive or reach yet. In a rare moment of pride set aside, Vegeta calls Goku a natural-born genius, further highlighting their mutual growth. The clash between these two warriors unleashes enough energy to waken Majin Buu. Shortly after Dabra reveals his true demonic strength and is defeated within seconds, Gohan is similarly overwhelmed by Buu's initial onslaught. Interestingly, when Buu first appears, Vegeta actually performs decently, enough to hurt him early on, though Buu quickly evolves beyond Vegeta's reach. Later, Goten and Trunks display their power to Goku, which shocks Piccolo, suggesting that both boys have been suppressing their strength during the tournament matches against Android 18. Yet, even with that increase, Goku remains unimpressed, hinting that he's operating on a completely different level now. To buy the world time, Goku unveils Super Saiyan 3. The transformation is so potent that it shakes the entire Earth and sends shockwaves beyond the mortal plane. Later, when Kid Buu arrives, Goku notes that he could have finished Fat Buu off easily using Super Saiyan 3. This same Buu had previously survived Vegeta's final explosion, and was strong enough to defeat Cell tier enemies and one-shot Gohan. Goku even deflects a blast from Buu that accidentally destroys a large chunk of Earth, which he redirects with casual effort. Interestingly, Goku holds back, not out of mercy, but because he believes the next generation deserves a chance to defend the world. In supplementary material, Super Saiyan 3 is described as drawing out the full potential of a Saiyan and is noted to be over 4 times stronger than Super Saiyan 2. While Super Saiyan 1 is directly linked to a 50 times increase in battle power, the language for Super Saiyan 2 and 3 shifts to general strength, implying that multipliers may not scale linearly anymore, and that raw stats might be getting abstract at these levels. Moreover, Super Saiyan 3 Goku's ki output is so vast that it's detectable from the sacred world of the Kais, a realm beyond the universe's structure, completely outside of the macrocosm. At the same time, Buu is described in early material as not quite a galaxy destroyer, due to his immature personality, but eventually evolves into a being with enough destructive capability to fit that title after fusing with Great Buu. While Gohan trains in the sacred realm, Goku casually lifts an unimaginable dense material said to be harder than anything in the universe, something that's possibly even heavier than neutron star matter. If hardness correlates to weight, this is even more impressive given how heavy the Z-Sword is for Goku to wield, yet Gohan swings it effortlessly, reinforcing the idea that Gohan might have surpassed Goku in raw strength at this point. And yet, Goku still expresses doubt that Z-Sword Gohan could actually beat Buu. Eventually, we're introduced to the fusion dance. Goten and Trunks become Gotenks, but their initial base level performance against Buu is underwhelming. After a day of hyperbolic time chamber training, Gotenks reappears more competent and zips across the globe at a ridiculous speed in Super Saiyan form, wasting most of his fusion timer on antics before facing Buu again. Piccolo begins to believe in him this time, but there's still debate around how his power measures up. Daizenshu material implies that even after training, Gotenks was only just beginning to rival Goku and Vegeta. This means base Gotenks before the chamber wasn't close, despite his confident front. Taking fusion mechanics into account, typically described as a multiplication of the two fighters' power, Gotenks should be crazy strong. But again, Vegeta and Goku appear to be even stronger, especially if you interpret Daizenshu's statement strictly. This also raises the insane possibility that a post-7-year training Goku in the afterlife could defeat a Cell Saga Gogeta. Additional guidebooks and GT Perfect files compare fusion and Potara earrings, suggesting Potara is slightly more efficient. However, both of them are said to result in dozens upon dozens of times in terms of power, a vague estimate clearly meant to keep things flexible. Backing this up, when Great Buu, just a fragment of Fat Buu, emerges, Piccolo in the anime considers him more dangerous than Gotenks. Meanwhile, Goku as Super Saiyan 3 surpasses the entire fusion of Gray and Fat Buu combined. Both he and the evolved Buu have ki that resonates in the Supreme Kai realm, something never directly said about Gotenks at any point. After more time chamber training, Gotenks unlocks Super Saiyan 3 and seems capable of challenging Buu seriously. In fact, El Manga Legendario asserts that Gotenks could have beaten Buu outright had his fusion timer not expired. Piccolo's belief in Gotenks at this stage feels more genuine than before, suggesting he actually reached that threshold. Then comes Gohan's awakening. Goku admits Gohan's new strength defies what he thought was even possible. Gohan easily crushes Super Buu in combat. Trunks, usually prone to exaggeration, sincerely admits Gohan is stronger than Gotenks, a rare grounded statement from a very excitable character. Eventually, Buu absorbs Gotenks and becomes a nightmare-level threat. Despite this, Goku in base form cuts Buu in half with the Destructo Disc. It doesn't hurt him, but the fact that Goku could do it at all is still intriguing, though clearly not implying a power advantage. When Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 against Gotenks, he's completely outmatched. Facing inevitable defeat, Goku and Vegeta resort to Potara fusion, resulting in Vegito. After Vegito deliberately lets himself be absorbed by Buu, the fusion comes undone. What follows is a strange and often overlooked segment in Buu's body that raises a lot of power scaling questions. Goku and Vegeta take on a ghost-like version of Gohan, Gotenks, and Piccolo, essentially Buu's internal recreations of them based on his memory. These phantoms retain the exact same strength as their originals, yet Goku and Vegeta manage to hold their own while in Super Saiyan, not even at full strength. On the surface, this suggests an absurd boost. If Goku and Super Saiyan can clash with Ultimate Gohan and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, does that mean he's stronger than them now? Well, it's not necessarily that simple. There are plenty of inconsistencies. For example, Piccolo, who should be the weakest of the three, is able to challenge Vegeta in a fair fight. Meanwhile, Goku, who the guides plays equal to Vegeta at this point, is shown fighting Gohan one-on-one. At one point, Gohan even sneaks up on Goku in base form and manages to wear him down later in Super Saiyan mode. But if Gohan is truly at full strength here, why didn't the initial kick obliterate Goku instantly? It implies that Buu's copies might be holding back intentionally, possibly as part of a strategy to exhaust Goku and Vegeta before absorbing them again. In fact, Goku and Vegeta doesn't realize they regenerate endlessly until after he's already spent most of his energy. So it's entirely possible that these recreations were playing the long game. To add to that, Buu's control over these illusions is tied to his concentration, which is shown breaking as he gets distracted by hunger. The moment his attention slips, the phantoms literally turn into desserts. That's a massive clue that this battle doesn't operate on a clean, logical power scaling measure. There are constructs bound by Buu's will, but not independent fighters. Though something to consider is that Goku and Vegeta are confined to be operating at 1% less of their usual strength while inside Buu's body. If they were genuinely trading blows with full power Gotenks and Gohan in that state, then that would imply that their real strength exceeds Gotenks and Gohan by over 100 times, which that level of scaling is pretty ridiculous. However, it is something to consider. Soon after, Goku mentions that even together they might not be able to defeat Buu, and is also mentioned that Buu is stronger inside himself for some bizarre reason. So even if Goku does look good against Gohan or Gotenks, it doesn't translate to superiority over the real Buu. And this brings us to Kid Buu, the final form of the Majin and debatably the most chaotic and dangerous form. In the anime, Kid Buu is declared the most powerful version outright. Goku even calls him the toughest opponent he's ever faced, which raises eyebrows considering Goku never actually fought Buuhan at full power. Unless of course you count Vegito as an extension of Goku, which is debatable. If Kid Buu does truly surpass Buuhan, however, we're talking about a being capable of distorting reality on a universal level. Buuhan warps space just by raging. Goku says if Kid Buu wins, the universe itself could vanish. Though in the Viz translations it's toned down a bit, simply stating that the universe would be doomed, not quite the same as being poofed out of existence. Kid Buu at some point sets his sights on destroying the Grand Kai's planet, which orbits the Heaven Realm. Since Heaven is described as a macrocosmic-sized planet, planet size in the sense of matching an entire universe, the idea that Grand Kai's planet is even a moon of it implies something enormous. Destroying something that size in one shot could actually require more energy than vaporizing a galaxy. But to be fair, this feat is highly debated. The planet size seems inconsistent across episodes, and some even argue Kid Buu would need multiple shots to accomplish that destruction, if it ever were to happen. Now, back to Goku. Despite all the odds, he eventually defeats Kid Buu with the Super Spirit Bomb, a technique fueled by the energy gathered not just from the Earth but across the macrocosm. There's even a comment made that if Gohan and Gotenks fall alongside Goku, Kid Buu wouldn't have stood a chance. Goku suggests this in the manga, though Vegeta insists on letting the people of Earth resolve things themselves. This is a powerful statement, however, because it suggests that Gohan didn't get stronger at all from his previous beatdowns. There's no Zenkai or powered up mention, so if Goku now is the strongest by the end of Z, that means he finally surpassed Gohan. This idea gets even more traction in early Dragon Ball Super when Vegeta outright says that Goku is number one.